Performance towards the development in the research is commendable. This cordial invitation is for you, sir. Our special guest, Prairie View A&M University, United States of America, Dr. Aruna Weerasooriya. It's my privilege to invite you to address this gathering.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? I guess you can hear me.
Yeah, we can.
All good.
Right. Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, and students. First of all, I want to thank the organizing committee, especially the conference chair, Professor Sudarshanam, and my good friend, Dr. Sirmal Premkumar, Chairman of ITI, for inviting me to speak at this important and exciting conference. I really don't know how much time I have, but I'm trying to speed up what I have to speak briefly. As you know, the plant-based medicine has a long history going back to early human civilization, and there are so many popular plant-based pharmaceuticals we use in modern medicine. I guess Sirimal explained how advanced it is nowadays, and the use of plant-based products and the dietary supplements are increasing in the developed country. So the global market value for the medicinal plant-based products actually exceed over $100 billion per year. So with the various advancement of the scientific technologies, new equipments, new methodologies, we have now been able to explore more deeper into the medicinal plants to reveal more secrets in the nature. So without taking much time, I'm going to share some of my views on a debating topic in Sri Lanka on yet another medicinal plant, cannabis. There are many misconceptions in Sri Lankan society regarding cannabis, and I would like to share some of my experience with cannabis research in US and particularly in Texas. So I know I have been watching various the programs, discussions in YouTube regarding the cannabis legalization in asking legalization to Sri Lankan system. And so in Texas, it is legalized for research, and industrial hemp, the cannabis sativa, there is a type called low THC cannabis, and that is grown by the licensed farmers in Texas for various end usage. So we can use it for the CBD extraction, fiber extraction, and the seed grain production for the protein sources. But there are a lot of gaps in the science, and which create a lot of problem in the US system. So I just want to share that. Right? Before that, let's look at what is the cannabis. Cannabis was discovered first by famous, the father of botany, Carolus Linnaeus, in Indian subcontinent, and named it as Cannabis sativa. And then subsequently, Lamarck identified another species called Cannabis indica from the same region, the Indian subcontinent and the Chinese region. And then after that, the Russian and Eastern Europe found another species. I mean, this is how they described the plants at that time, when only the morphological features are used to differentiate the plant species. So originally, we had Cannabis sativa, and then two other species were discovered. And then after that, the banning started. The cannabis was banned in various parts of the world. So the Cannabis sativa, indica, and ruderalis were described using the morphological, basic morphological characters. And when you look at sativas are the ones taller, robust plants, and indica are more bushy type plants, and the ruderalis is very small plants. So this is how they described in early days. Right after that, the Cannabis sativa were banned, and there was a gap in the crossbreeding and interbreeding in the natural the vegetations, which allowed a lot of problems for the species for its own survival. So after the banning, the cannabis was landed in the hands of various illegal growers in the world. So they only looked at the narcotic effects of the cannabis, and they non-scientifically bred this species for the high potent or the high narcotic genotypes. Now, actually, when we look at the genome, genomic and genetic complexity in the plant, we don't see actually the similarities what we saw in the original Cannabis sativa. So probably the real original Cannabis sativa genotype may have extinct by now. So far we have identified several major chemotypes, and there are non-narcotic plants used for the stem fiber oil seed production. They have very low THC but high CBD content. CBD is the cannabidiol, and I'm going to it later in the discussion. And these are the compounds we use to differentiate these chemotypes. And there is another non-narcotic type used for medicine. It has low to moderate THC and high CBD. It is also found in the Asian region. And then we have narcotic group. They have high level of THC. There is another narcotic group has high level of THC and high level of CBD, and they are coming from the Arabian or the Afghanistan countries. And then we will have the various hybrids of all these four groups, right? So when it comes to the nomenclature, even in US, now USDA or the major agricultural body in the country doesn't have defined varieties or subspecies genotypes yet, because we are still studying the diversity of Cannabis sativa. And so in the market or in the society, what we can see is all these funny names, right? Funny names given by the seed producers. in the US system, actually, after they legalized this, all the illegal growers started become legal, and they started making money out of this, the plants or the genotypes they have. So they are all funny names, and these, you can see the funny names and how they have bred, and some seeds they sell single seed. In the beginning, it went up to $99 per seed, right? So all these names are based on, you see, the color and the smell. Cherry, fruity, grape, right? You see purple, and all these are according to the smells and the color. So that clearly shows the way they market various cannabis the strains in the illegal the market. I will come to the point why they make names like this in my later slides. So in 2019, Texas legalized industrial hemp. And now again, industrial hemp categorized from marijuana in a very non-scientific way, because they say, now this is all cannabis sativa, but when the plant is showing 0.3% THC or the narcotic active compound, or delta-9 tetrahydroxy cannabinoids, and it called industrial hemp, and all the genotypes showing over 0.3% THC falls under the narcotics, or the marijuana. Right now, we have to go back to the traditional medicine and the use of the cannabis in Ayurveda and Chinese medicine. At that time, the original the plants didn't have this much of narcotic compound or the THC levels. Even that, they used the various preparations to reduce the level and use in the medicine. But because of this illegal breeding, today what we have as cannabis in the market has over 20% THC levels. So some of the strains we analyze here showed about 40% THC level. Now you can imagine how much narcotics coming through this the illegal breeding. This is where we are very much concerned. Now, when Texas started growing the hemp, we started getting the seeds and the plant material, various part of the world and the various part of the country. And sometimes when we bring the northern growing genotypes and grow in the south, where we have almost similar climatic conditions, like in Sri Lanka, the non-narcotic one showed the narcotic chemical profiles. So this is the real concern we have. Sometimes when farmers started growing and spending a lot of money because they thought they can make more money, and some people almost spend all of their lifetime savings and invested on cannabis cultivation, and USDA found that they are not the industrial hemp and they are the narcotic type, and they had to destroy whole thousands of acres of crop. So now you see where this needs more scientific attention. Right. So when we looked at the cannabis, the phytochemistry, the major components are the cannabinoids, and then we have terpenoids, sterols, and flavonoids. These are the active compounds, and still we are, isolating strange new compounds from this plant, right? So why cannabinoids are so important? Now, humans has something called endocannabinoids, right? They are produced in all metazoan body except in certain invertebrates. And the endocannabinoids help to keep our body in homeostasis. And what cannabis has is a kind of similar compound. They are called phytocannabinoids. When you look at the plant kingdom, there are so many other plants also showing different the cannabinoids like Echinacea purpurea, electric daisy, Acmella oleracea, Acmella, right? All these plants has very, very little amounts of phytocannabinoids, and all these plants are used in the medicine also. Now, interestingly, the cannabis has more cannabinoids, and so far over 120 cannabinoids identified from the cannabis female inflorescences. Right, and the same time, the scientists made the synthetic cannabinoids. Earlier, they took the phytocannabinoids, and then they modified it and turned into the synthetic cannabinoids. And now, most of the synthetic cannabinoids are made in the labs. And you may have heard the FDA-approved Marinol, Dorabinol, both are used in medicine to treat cancer and AIDS patients to reduce the vomiting and nausea conditions. So now you see humans has endocannabinoids, and the cannabis has phytocannabinoids. So when we look at the evolution, we can see the relationship between the humans and the plants, just like with the other plant-animal interaction. So the cannabis has a long history with human civilization. The plant gives rewards to the human gives rewards to the plant for their own survival. So when we look at the cannabinoid synthesis, and not all parts of the plant make cannabinoids, the more the cannabinoids are made in the teeny tiny trichomes in the floral bracts in the female plants. So that is why they harvest the flower buds for the use. Right, so the two main cannabinoids are the THC, delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, and the CBD cannabidiol. And this THC is psychotropic, or the narcotic type, and it is really addictive. And in very, very minute dosages, it can be used as medicine, but more research is needed to work out the right dosage according to the human genome, or we need to study the pharmacogenomics. And currently, one research group in Houston working on this study, and the CBD is the most important part in the cannabinoid group in cannabis, and that has a lot of medicinal properties to treat various diseases. Right. So when you look at the endocannabinoid system, there are two receptors called CB1 and CBD2. Now, CB1 is mainly in the brain and the nervous system, and the CB2 is in the organs, right? So the homeostasis between these systems are done through the endocannabinoid system. So after the clinical trials in different countries, CBD was considered as a good drug, and then in early 2020, FDA approved a prescription drug. This is actually totally plant-based isolate of CBD called Epidiolex, and this is now being used to treat childhood epileptic seizures, and it works really well. And about 25,000 kids in Houston area or Texas alone got completely cured from this drug. But the problem is this drug is manufactured in UK, and it cost about 32,000 per year dose. So because of that, the rest of the CBD market started booming, and a lot of various cannabis-based herbal dietary supplements started coming into the market. Now, these are not FDA approved, and they price from $10 to $200. And after the cannabis legalization, main attraction was for these products because it's cheaper, and the producers started making various products. Now, when you go to the states like California, you can even have a cup of tea with CBD, cup of beer with CBD, but God knows what is in it, right? There is no regulation. So later in 2021, the CBD market in United States saturated. So the farmers couldn't actually sell any CBD extract they made for the products because they started making a lot of CBD, not looking at any other use of this plant. Right. And then when we look at the terpenes, terpenes are the smells. And as I said before, they named these strains using the different smells they have, right? And we identified a lot of terpenes, and some of these terpenes have very good industrial applications. And we have studied caryophyllene, mycene, limonene, the combination of these. Actually, these are the plant-to-plant messaging molecules, and just like, you know, sometimes when you cut the grass, you get the grass smell, right? And that grass smell gives to the uncut grass that I'm in danger because it is damaging. So the uncut grass can get their defense system ready in their cellular level. So those signaling are going through various terpene molecules. So we studied to use these terpenes in improvement of the greenhouse plant production, and we found in our vertical greenhouses, vertical leafy green production trials, when you release mycene, caryophyllene into the the greenhouse air, the plants started developing more secondary metabolites, which makes more flavor, more spiciness, and more aroma, and sometimes the colors also. So those are the actually secondary metabolites, very important for our human health. So in other words, we could improve the nutrition value of the crop, right? So there are a lot of potential of these terpenes in perfume industry, you know, anything you name for the smells, you can use them. No one has started anything yet on these compounds, and there are a lot of flavonoids in it. we have animal research group in my team, and we fed the cannabis leaves for the chicken, goats, and their reproductive, the mechanisms improved, milk level increased, and the egg yolk became very, very bright yellow with high vitamin E's and all that. So we are still working on studying the use of these various flavonoids. Right. So apart from those CBD, cannabis, the THC, CBD, there are so many other uses in this plant. Right. So this is the glimpse of the industrial hemp market. And in the beginning, they projected that they will have the higher CBD market, but now actually we don't have the higher CBD market in the US. The market is more going towards the seeds and the fiber, and also the chives or the hard fiber. Seeds used for the protein extraction. Fiber is used for the various products from heart stent, fallopian stent, skin grafting, scaffolding, to bioplastic in vehicle, body parts. And then the chives are used in building construction. And now Texas has several houses 3D printed using hemp, the hard fiber material. So this is the market actually now driven, because the CBD market is now saturated. So when you look at the users, now there are thousands of users, but the problem in cannabis is they only look at the CBD health benefits, where we need more science to understand what is happening, right? And so this is the biggest thing. But many industries has already started working on other uses of the plant. And in our research facility, we grow various genotypes, and we study the genomic complexities. And it is a dioecious plant. We have female plant, male plants, and we found sometimes they interchange the sex also, according to the growing conditions. So we have hermaphrodite or the bisexual plants also in the growing fields. And a lot of pests there. Just want to get you an idea. We are still identifying a lot of different type of pests in Texas, and a lot of diseases, right? And this is one of the most important thing. Like botrytis is very common in the flower buds, and sometimes they extract these flower buds for the CBD, and then mycotoxin goes to the extraction. So now you can see the safety of the CBD products, uncontrolled, non-FDA approved product quality, when they use these low quality material for the extraction. A lot of viruses, bacteria, like in any other crop, you see everything there. And so we study the morphometrics. We started studying from basic morphometrics, and then we go through the ultrastructure, and then DNA fingerprinting, chemical fingerprinting, to identify the complexity and try to find the best performing strains for Texas, and best strains for the various end usage. So there are a lot of overlapping in leaf morphology and leaf arrangement. You see, it is very, very complex. Leaf sizes, shapes, number of leaflets, a lot of variation. So we found three major groups: broadleaf drug type, narrowleaf drug type, and then the industrial hemp. And there are so many in between these genotypes. And you see the fruit and seed morphology, very, very variable. There are so many different shapes, arrangements, and the seeds also, the sizes and their protein content, the chemical profiling in the seeds also very, very complex. And we looked at the stem, the biomass, and how much fiber it has. So that is also very, very variable. And we did this to identify the best fiber producing strains. And then we looked at the fine fibers, and we characterized the fiber quality using the mechanical, tensile strength values and the fiber yield. And we found some of good promising strains for the fiber. And we developed the herbarium repository, fiber extracted fiber repository, and the herd fiber repository for the Texas. And this keeps growing, and this is available for all the industry and the farmers, those who can't identify the strain, at least to the major groups. They can reach us and work with us to identify them correctly. And then we use chemical profiling, and terpene diversity is very high. These are very preliminary data. You see, you can use certain the terpenes as the marker compound to differentiate these various the strains. That is why the illegal growers use these aromatic or the fragrance tones to identify them. This is still under investigation, and these are the major terpene markers we have identified from our research samples, right? So this is what we are doing. So what I have to tell the message is, before legalizing the cannabis in a country like Sri Lanka, we need especially the Ayurveda, Western medical professionals and the scientists need to get together and work on what are the genotypes available in Sri Lanka first, before bringing anything from outside to the country, and try to understand their characteristics and see, who knows, sometimes we might find some interesting genetic makeups, because we are an island and the plants are reproductively isolated for a long time. We might find some unique cannabis strain in the country. But the bad part is all these illegal growings in Sri Lanka also targeted for the narcotic types. So there is a now even in US, in the Texas particularly, we have a big issue when it legalized. Everyone, the grower needs to get a permit from the USDA. Even I had to get a permit from the USDA to grow for research. But most of the growers started growing the narcotic type, and they started selling it, off market. And there is no way of, identifying them, right in the field. There are big risks in a country like Sri Lanka. So more science is needed. The best thing is to get it legalized for the scientific research in the country, like Ayurveda can use it for the scientific studies before it started as a commercial crop. So I will end up my talk from there. And if anyone needs any more information, or anyone needs to collaborate on science in cannabis, and please contact me at any time. I'm more than happy to give my full support for the research in the country. And I have another happy announcement. Professor Sudarshanam and Dr. Premakumar, we have been discussing a few years ago to continue this wonderful conference. And next year, I'm planning to host the 7th conference in Houston, Texas. So I hope to see you, everyone, next year in Houston, Texas, for a good, brainstorming session. And probably we can visit all these research facilities, cannabis growing facilities, processing facilities in Houston area. Thank you so much. I hope I didn't take much time.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Aruna Weerasooriya, Professor and Chair of the Plant, Environmental Sciences and Research Leader in Cannabis Research Program. So ladies and gentlemen, moving ahead with the